and welcome to another episode of Metaphysical Happy Hour.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! I am your host, Cassie Clayton,
And I am your co-host, Tracey Escobar, also known as the Red Couch Medium. Hey, Cassie.
Hello.
How are you?
Doing good. How's your week been?
My week has been busy, but I'm so glad to be on the show. I'm so excited about our guest today because she's not only a fellow medium and a fellow colleague, but I know her personally. So I'm going to let you introduce who our guest is. I'm super excited to bring her on. So let's get her out here.
Awesome. So today with us, we've got Tawney Lewis, and she is a paranormal investigator. So with that, welcome to the show, Tawney.
Hello. Hey. Thank you for having me. Hi, everyone.
Hello. Okay, so first, before we even get started, I just want to tell everybody on TikTok, on YouTube, on Facebook, if you have a question, please put it in the comments. So let's pick Tawney's brain. She's with us for the next hour. We'll probably interview for 30 minutes, and then we'll do some card pulls, and she's going to do some psychic readings for us too. But we're going to get started. Hi, Deborah. Hi, Whitney. Hello, everybody in TikTok land. Hello. So yeah, please give us your questions, anything paranormal. We would love to hear about it. Hi, Tawney. So I know Tawney. Tawney and I have some similar background. We both trained under Colby Rebel and Lisa Williams, and you even went a step further and just got master teacher. I'm super excited about that. How was that process?
It was absolutely amazing, and I would recommend it to anyone who
would you?
If you're into spirituality and you want to teach other people, absolutely. Lisa is incredible.
She's an amazing teacher. Amazing. I know I sat on it. I was like, should I do it? Should I not? Mm-hmm. And I did not pull the plug, unfortunately. But maybe next time she opens it up, we will. Yay. So Tawney, tell us and our listeners, just introduce yourself. How did you even get into the spiritual journey? So give us a little background on what brought you here.
Yeah. So what's super funny is when I was little, like 10 and 12, I actually saw spirit with my, physically, I was like, oh my God, there is a blonde haired girl in my living room. Like I saw her.
Like you saw her.
And I checked 3 times to make sure I wasn't losing it, and she was still there. So that was the first time I actually saw spirit, and it terrified me. And I started to pray about it. I was like, I don't want this. It's weird. Get it away from me. And it actually did. It went away for about 20 years. I did not have none of that mediumship stuff. So after, I want to say my early 30s, I just became really, really interested in the paranormal, meaning just doing ghost tours whenever I would travel for work or do ghost tours here in Los Angeles. And I did one so much that one of the founders in Pasadena, he's like, why are you not on my team? Like, what are you doing? He's like, you come to every single event. I was like, oh yeah, you're right. Can I join your team? And so I joined that team and that went awesome until he ended up moving away. He moved to Oregon. And I just kind of kept it going. And so around this time, still did not know I was a psychic, didn't know I was a medium. I just kept doing investigations. Okay. And then I was in New Orleans a few years ago, and they were like, oh, this room is haunted by an old nun. And I sat there and I was like, no, I'm actually getting a young female, about 25, brown hair, used to be a nurse. Like, I'm getting this stuff. And then they confirmed on a spirit box. They're like, oh my God, you guys, in the next room, there's a woman who's 25 and she used to be a nurse. And I was like, and that was when I was like, okay, maybe there's something more to this. And so the paranormal aspect actually came first. And then I started to do the investigating later. So now that's why I tend to say, I'm a paranormal investigator instead of saying I'm a psychic medium. I usually just kind of throw that in later because I kind of learned more about the structure of being a paranormal investigator. And then now I'm skilled as a medium and I can kind of mix it in there. So that's kind of, it's kind of my journey.
Interesting. I didn't know that piece about you. So paranormal first.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. So far, yeah. And then do you like the mediumship part? What's your favorite?
I do like the mediumship aspect. What I like though is when I do investigations, I don't automatically go in a place like, I feel like there's I'm actually have the paranormal hat where I'm like, okay, cool. Like, let's whip out the tools. Let's see what's going on. And then if I need to, I'm like, okay, actually, and I've done this once where there was zero energy in one room. Like none of the tools were going off. And I was like, okay, here we go. Where is the spirit? And it was a little boy. And I was like, okay, he's in room 1. And we went in room 1 and all the gadgets in there were going off. So that's cool. So I like to kind of do that where it's not, I don't want to go in there first as a medium. I just kind of pull it out whenever I need to. And it's worked really well in a group and a team aspect. And, you know, there's zero ego. It's just, I'm here to investigate. I'm nosy. I want to know what's going on. So
I love that. What kind of tools of the trade are there? Tell us, because a lot of people out there wouldn't even know what that entails.
Well, the first one I'm going to say is actually yourself, you know, just using your own intuition. You don't even have to do this work. You can be with any person that's like, I don't believe in that. Taking them in a haunted place of like, okay, why do I feel weird? Why do I feel dizzy? Hello, you're using your own, you know, intuition to pick up on the energy in the space. And so I would say use yourself and just kind of see where you're guided and how you feel. Pay attention to your emotions. The second one, the most easiest, is your cell phone. The cell phone has a voice recorder, and you can record EVP noises. It has a flashlight on it. It has some ghost apps, which I mean, I don't tell people not to use them, but it's not my favorite. But it's
not your favorite, yeah.
Then you can also use camera, your video recorder. So use your your cell phone, especially the voice recorder aspect. You can use that to record EVPs, which is basically just pressing record in like an empty room. You can leave it in there and then come back. You might have whispers, you might have heavy breathing, you might hear a child crying, you might hear different things. Or if you want to stay in the room with your phone, ask questions. You're like, hey, is anyone here? See if you hear, you probably won't. Sometimes you don't hear a response. It just comes on the recorder. Are you, what year is it? They'll respond to you via that. So the next tool I love to use is the K2 meter. This one's really good for newer investigators. It's like a little meter. God, I wish I had it right next to me.
I'd be new.
Yeah, it lights up. The K2 meter, for those of you watching, you can find all the things I'm mentioning on ghoststop.com. You can also find it on Amazon.com, actually. A lot of ghost tools on Amazon. But the K2 meter, it lights up, and you can use that to ask questions. It's always on, I want to say, green, and then you're like, oh, is anyone here? It might move to red, it might move to yellow, or oh, do you know what year it is? If it doesn't move, then they might not even know where they are. It's just different things. The next tool I love is the spirit box. If you visit my Instagram or my TikTok, and you'll see some of my videos, I'm actually using the spirit box. You can actually hear sentences and voices that come through it. It's creepy, but it's white noise. It sounds like a radio scanner, and you might hear someone say hello or hi or get out or go away, or they might curse at you or whatever. I get all sorts of things through that thing. But it's the spirit box, that one's one of my favorites. I always happen to have that on me. It's usually either in my car or in my backpack. I pull it out. So
did you get that on the same website, that ghost website?
Yeah, ghoststop.com or Amazon.com. A lot of the items are on Amazon.
Amazon too. I think that's super fascinating. Like, what's the freakiest place you've been? Have you been scared, first of all?
When I first started, yes, everything scares me. Surprisingly, I'm a paranormal investigator, and I'm actually terrified of ghosts, which is, my friends laugh at me. They're like, wait, really? I'm like, no, it scares me.
It's true.
They're like, why are you doing this? I was like, because I'm stupid. I don't know. I just think it's fun. So the most spookiest place, I want to say Montana State Prison. I just did a TikTok on that one. And yeah, if you look at my page, there's a recent video where you'll see two random glowing eyes in the back of the prison. I had to sit in the prison cell for 45 minutes to do an EVP, like see if I get anything. Yeah. And then as we were all packing up to leave, just intuitively, something said, take a picture down the hall. There was nothing down the hall. I just was like, okay, and I just snap, and then left. Yeah. On the plane coming home, let me just check my phone. Let's see what I took. What the heck is that? And then two eyes staring at me. So if you want to see the picture, go on my TikTok. Yeah, two eyes, glowing eyes. So
that would be freaky. Okay, so here's a question, because we have some of the same training on the mediumship part. And you know that there is some training out there, especially from the UK, that don't believe in that kind of thing. Yep. But you've actually had experiences. So what's your belief around? Why are they there? Why do they stay there? Why are they haunting? Why? What is it? Is it a ghost?
I've definitely encountered other teachers that they don't believe in that. And just I'm respectful to everyone, because I even have relatives that are skeptic. And I'm like, that's cool. Like, to each its own is fine.
Yeah.
What do I say? I feel I feel like there are spirits that are still here. I feel like it's mostly energy. So if you go to a haunted, for example, I just did an investigation in Lilydale, New York, and there was this house from 1864. And it was a lot of energy. However, it was from different time periods. You know, we picked up a man from around 1920s. We picked up someone like a farmer from the 1880s. And it could be a few things. They could just have loved the property. And it's not that they necessarily haunted. They just visited. They like to come. They just want to come and remember the energy. They want to come and check on the house. You know, there are places that have negativity and they dark. And to be honest, as an investigator, I try not to focus too much on the dark demon aspect. I don't deal with that.
You don't deal with that.
Yeah, I've never been pushed. I've never been scratched. I just don't invite that. And it's always so for those watching that are like, oh, is it dark? It's dark. It doesn't have to be. It really doesn't. And that's one of the reasons why I teach it, because I try to teach the love, light, curiosity, nosy, fun aspect of paranormal investigating. So it's just I do believe in hauntings. I just feel like it's energy, and sometimes there are hauntings where you can actually clear the space. There are some that do need to be crossed over, but then there are some where you probably don't want to touch it. You just kind of want to leave them there. Or like the Whaley House has been haunted for 1,000,000 years. This is in San Diego County. It's very popular. People know it to be haunted. It wouldn't be a good idea for a medium to go and try to clear everything out. Like, that's going to lose the money of the Whaley House, you know? So it just depends. But overall, I do believe that there's different types of energy. There's different types of hauntings, and it doesn't always have to be negative.
Gotcha. Do you think, actually, why would people hire you? Do people kind of reach out to you? Do they hire you? Or do you go seek out these places just for your own personal interest?
It's a mixture. Sometimes I will do it for personal interest. I'm like, oh my God, I've always wanted to go to this place. And I'll get my team and I'm like, we're going, and we do it. We definitely have people that do contact me. I do it different ways. Sometimes I could do it remotely. I've had a friend in Texas who said something's here. I don't know what's going on. And as a medium, I was able to tap into the energy of her house and her space, and she was able to confirm. And I said, this is what it feels like it is. And she was able to confirm, like, blah, 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 whatever. Okay. This is what I suggest. Try this. There have been situations where, like in Pennsylvania, someone had an issue and I tried remotely, but you can tell they were scared. So I happened to know somebody out there, and I was like, please go to their house and help them. So, but the best situation I've had is there was a house in I want to say San Diego County, and they reached out and their child was scared. He couldn't sleep. He said there was something in his room. He was drawing like creatures / monsters, like weird stuff. And we actually went down there, and long story short, we were able to help him. And a few days after that, they said everything was good. He was happy. He was in his room. And so to answer your question, yes, it's like a mixture of it all.
It's a mixture of it all. So fascinating. So making sure you guys, we're going to answer any questions towards the end. But if you have a question, let us know. Hi, Liz. Hi, Trudy. Hi, Belinda. Anna, can we ask a psychic question? You can, and we're going to answer those towards the end. So right now, we're just kind of picking Tawney's brain on paranormal stuff. So I have a question. Why does it have to be done at night? Because a lot of people don't understand that. Right?
You know, it's just a misconception. It does not have to be. A lot of people, like the TV shows are like, it needs to be between 10 p.m.
and witching hours.
So majority of investigations do take place at night. There is we've heard as spiritualists that the activity is heavier between like 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4, you know. And so in my experience, is it true? Somewhat. So I'm not gonna say no or yeah. I'm like, somewhat, yeah. Sometimes it is super heavy, but then there's times where we're getting nothing. I'm like, hello, anyone? What's going on?
Anyone? Bueller?
Yeah, but I've done investigations in the daytime. You know, I did a theater in Los Angeles about 2 years ago, and we did it at like 12 noon, and it was highly active.
Interesting.
And so to answer that question, I'm like, no, you know, they're just trying to put it like it's always Ghost Adventures want you to think it's always nighttime.
It's always, and I was gonna say, how true is the shows compared to reality?
Yeah, so the shows, I might It's okay. So the show is condensed to about 45 minutes. A
Right.
real investigation to get the evidence that you need, if any, could be anywhere from 6 to 12 hours. It just depends. So when we did the Montana State Prison location, we got there at 6:30 p.m. and we
Okay.
left at 4 a.m.
Oh,
And
wow.
we actually should have had another day. I was like, why didn't we have 2 days here? Like, this is way too short.
Yeah.
So it varies, but the TV shows, they just edit down to certain areas. They also tend to focus a lot on the negative. That's why I was like, no, I don't want people to think it's always negative.
Always negative. Yeah.
You're like, oh my God, there was a sound. Was that a demon? I'm like, no, it doesn't always have to be a demon.
Oh, yeah. It's kind of the same with mediumship shows too. It makes it look like they got everything right all the first time, right? So it's the same kind of concept.
Yeah.
We got some questions. Do ghosts ever actually want to hurt us? I think this is a really good question because number one, we can answer the question, and number two, what can we do as individuals to protect ourselves? So I'll let you answer that.
Luckily, I have not. No, you know what? I've witnessed it. Let me back that up. So to give you an answer, so at one place in Lake Arrowhead, it depends on your intention with me. So my intention during every investigation, I'm like, this sounds funny. I'm like, I'm here to be nosy. I'm here to have fun. I'm gonna leave soon. I'm not like I communicate like they're my friend and
Like
nothing
your friends.
Yeah. Whereas there was a guest there who did not. He was very negative. He was talking bad about the spirits. He was taunting them. And unfortunately, I want to say about 30 minutes into the investigation, he got pushed and he got scratched.
Oh, he
and
did.
I saw it. And I saw it. I was like, okay. And I wasn't shocked though, because of what it was negative energy. So to answer your question, do they ever actually want to hurt us? There's a lot of ghosts and spirits that still have the same personality that they did when they were here in the physical. So if you had a murderer, a killer, a mean abuser, then yeah, they might want to. Are they actually going to do it? 99% of the time, no. Unless you put that energy out there. That's why you see specials where they're like, I was scratched or I wasn't. It hasn't happened to me because I don't focus on that. And I apologize, Tracey. You had a second question to that?
Yeah. What can people do to protect themselves? Let's say if they do have activity in the home. Right?
Definitely. The protection aspect is one, it's the setting the intention. Two, it's the communicating. It's the when I went to Lilydale a few weeks ago, I stayed in a property that I was pretty sure was haunted. And
I was there in case nobody's been there.
And intuitively, I was like, I scare easily. Yes, I'm an investigator, but I'm weird. Please keep your space, stay out of my room. And I was fine the whole time. It was a very, very old house, and I was fine. So communicating with them, if you're in a haunted house, you're like, hey, I live here now. I know you're here. I feel you. I see you. Do me a favor. You stay in your space. I stay in mine. Would prefer you leave if you don't want to leave. Just communicate. And you would actually be really shocked at the energy shift. A friend of mine did that, and she told them to go in the backyard. She says, the backyard, I'm never back there. There's even a little shed back there. Go haunt the shed. And they did. She was like, there's no activity in my house. Also, some things to protect yourself is just prayer. Whatever your religion may be, whatever you want to say, please say it in order to just protect yourself, your family. I always say the white light of protection before an investigation, after an investigation, before I go to sleep. And another thing is crystals. A lot of people love crystals. My favorite is I'm wearing my labradorite. I always wear this for either readings or my investigations. A lot of people love black tourmaline, different ones, whatever you feel drawn to. I can recommend crystals, but I found that a lot of spiritualists are just drawn to certain ones that work for them. So crystals will absolutely help you. And what else? I would say those are the top. Just having a positive attitude about it and setting that intention and all the things I mentioned. That's super helpful.
Yeah, I always tell people you're always in control, right? Set your intention, create your own boundaries.
You're always in control. Do not ever let them control you. That's the biggest, the best advice. A friend of mine at an investigation last year, she says, hey, do you want to come up back to the attic? I forgot what, she's probably watching this. She said, come back up to the attic. And because the spirit up there wants to talk to you again. And I was like, we're done up there. I control it, and I'm not talking to him anymore. So sorry, this is my investigation. So you take control.
I love that. How many are on your team?
Oh God, I laugh because it's it's like an unofficial. That's why I kind of laugh. It's like people that are passionate about it, that love just investigating and love old houses or old property. As of right now, there's about 4 of us, and I try to keep it small because I have been on teams that were like 1 million people, and it does not work.
It doesn't. Cassie, we're gonna have to bring her to Texas. We can find some haunted things in Texas.
Oh yes,
sure.
Let's go play.
Oh, yes.
There's some hotels here. There's a lot of stuff here. I'd love to go play. So much fun. Yeah. Let's see. People got questions. Can dogs see ghosts or spirits sometimes? They bark at air for a while, so wondering if that's even possible.
1,000%, yes. The ones that actually see spirits the most are dogs, cats, and babies. And babies, because they're new and the energy it's a different type of energy, and they're more susceptible to seeing and hearing. So if you might see a lot of videos where you see kids like standing at the wall or like trying to hug somebody. I've seen so many on TikTok. But dogs, absolutely. That's one of the reasons why I personally don't have a dog here. I help my sister raise her dogs, but here I don't have one because I know they'll be like barking everywhere.
Barking everywhere.
Yeah, being a medium. I'm like, I don't have time for that. But yes, dogs can see them. Cats typically will stare and then they'll jump or they'll move really fast, and you're like, okay, there's some energy around here. But yes, they definitely see spirits.
They see spirits.
Sure.
Like, what's your training background on that side? I know your mediumship side, but did you have a training background in the paranormal? Did you have a mentor who helped you? Like, was it learn as you go? What was that about?
It was like learn as I go, because I was on 2 different teams, and the first one I was on, that one was awesome because he was so passionate about the paranormal. He was he was just passionate about it, and so I kind of followed him. I did all his tours whenever I traveled for work, because years ago I had a corporate job that made me go everywhere, Texas all the time, and I would just do those tours, and I kind of was self-taught. And then as I progressed and I would actually do tours with other groups or other investigators, I realized, I actually don't even know if I need training in this area, because it's like I've kind of picked it all up myself. I just picked it all up, and I was like, this is kind of okay, cool, And so, and then it was almost like I felt like a graduation aspect when I worked with Lisa Williams, because when I was in New York last year, she was like, hey, come and do an actual investigation with me at a house in Jamestown. I was like, oh my God.
With her, right? I mean, y'all don't even know. It's like celebrity status. I'm just saying.
So that was awesome. And so I got to learn from the best, because it's cute, because as we were doing the filming, she was actually teaching me. So I was like, teach me, show me everything.
Show me. Yeah. I love it. I've done one workshop with her, and it was just the most fascinating weekend I've ever had. I went up to Lilydale to Jamestown with her. It's amazing. She's an amazing person, an amazing opportunity. So so lucky for you. I'm so excited for you. I did have one question, and lo and behold, it blew my mind. So I'm going to ask her someone else's question who's out there. Whitney. Oh, okay. Actually, Brandon, you're right. Brandon, how do you make ghosts not follow you home after an investigation? That's funny.
Okay, so that one's easier than you think. It kind of goes back to what we talked about earlier, where you have control over this. Yes. So when you start an investigation, as you see Ghost Adventures, they just go in and they're like, we're here, push me. No, you go in and you say, like I said earlier, like, hey, I'm here for like 20 minutes. I'm not here to disturb you. We're being nosy. We want to know about you and your life. That's seriously kind of how I approach it. And I'm like, but we're going to leave soon. Okay, cool. And you're going to stay here. And we do the questions and the tools. And I'm like, okay, cool. We're done. Thank you. Bye. Have a good day. And then you say that again. And it's funny, but it works, because
it does.
People are like, oh my God, it's haunted. They're going to chase me. It's like, you have to remember, these were people who they were humans. And so you talk to them like they're human. And so before we actually end the investigation, I do my prayer. Like I said earlier, I'm like, okay, cool. We're going to be leaving now. Thank you so much for your time and for sharing your space. Please stay here. And we're going. And then that's simple. And then with the prayer mixed in, it's almost like, one, they're like, oh, they don't want us to come home. Okay, cool. And then 2, you actually can't you, because you're spiritually, you're protected. And they're like, okay,
Yes.
so that's the best I can give you. And that's actually what's worked for me all these years. I haven't had any issues.
From a medium perspective, I just wanted to laugh because my boyfriend, we just moved in together or whatever, and he comes home and the first thing he does is shut my office door because he just thinks they all hang out here. And I'm like, no, they go home with their people. They don't want to be around me. So yeah, they stay where they're supposed to be. They go home with their people.
Yes.
I mean, that's different from an attachment, and that's a whole nother show. But typically a spirit, if they're there, that's where they want to be. And they follow their people. That's where they want to be. So just think, if you were a human, what would you want? You'd want to be tied to your house, or you'd want to be tied to your people. That's what I would assume, right? Absolutely. And I think if you haven't done a ghost tour, I think that's something you should just put on your bucket list in any city that you're in. Number one, it's just fascinating. We went to San Antonio last year for 4th of July, and I took my boyfriend, and this is his first experience dating a medium. Shocking, right? But I was like, we're going to do a ghost tour. And he's like, okay, never done that. That's kind of weird. But you know what? He got so much out of it because there's so much history in a ghost tour. And I think that's the fascinating part. Right?
Yeah, it's the history. That's actually why I do it. I love the history aspect. I love learning about properties. And it's not so much just about the United States. Like, I love learning history of other countries. Like, I'm dying to go to Ireland. I want to try investigate one of their castles. Like, I'm dying.
Yes.
And
like
so
film crew for that one. Yeah.
Yes. So no, it's all about the history aspect. It excites me. And that's also one of the reasons why I don't turn it negative, because I genuinely am curious about the property, the land, the people that used to live there, what their life was like, what their troubles were, what would make them happy. Like, like a normal mediumship reading.
Like a normal reading.
What did you like? Or do you have questions about me? And then I can actually see them in my clairvoyance. This is what this person looked like, and so forth. So yeah, that's what I enjoy that about the investigations.
Have you ever done anything around where like Indian burial stuff is, or anything around Indian tribes, anything like that?
I have not yet. I think I will be soon.
There's a teaser.
There's a lot of them in the Hollywood Hills. Oh. And you know what? No, I take that back. I actually did do an investigation a long time ago, about 10 years ago, in the Hollywood Hills. And he said, oh, it's haunted. And we were like, dude, there's just a whole bunch of Native Indians in your backyard. Like, I see them on their horses and the trees just staring at us. And so yeah, that one was when I was first kind of starting out, getting used to everything. But yes, I have.
That's awesome. So we've got more questions out there. I guess we're going to go to Whitney. I used to always have a reoccurring dream as a kid where I died the same way over and over and over. Death over different situations, same death. Could that be a sign of something from a past life? What do you think?
I want to understand. So is it like the same
dream over and over and over, different situations that dying the same way?
Oh, I see. Yeah, I actually do feel like it's
a past life.
It will be a past life. It's just you're kind of remembering it, and if you actually want more information about it, I would recommend just maybe meditating before bed or saying a prayer and just asking your higher self. You're like, I keep having this dream. Show me more. Like, I'm okay, unless you feel like you're not ready. If you feel like when you don't want to know more details, then don't do it. But if you're curious, you can open that up, because years ago I did that. I was curious about a past life, and I kind of was like, I'm ready. Tell me everything, and I was. So yeah, I do feel like it's past life. Yeah,
me too. And Whitney, think about it. Think about how you died, and do you have any phobias around that now in this lifetime? Because that could be another precursor to letting you know that might be something that happened in the past, and your subconscious is just remembering it. So great question. John Martin asked, how do you deal with skeptics during an investigation? Are there skeptics during an investigation?
I love skeptics. I have a lot of friends that are skeptics. My mom's a skeptic. I actually welcome it, because I love hearing everyone's opinion, and I also love to show them how wrong they are. So love that. So for example, my mom, biggest skeptic. She's like, I don't believe in that. I'm like, really? And years ago, I did a reading on a photo of a woman that she knew. I didn't know. She passed years ago. And I was like, she's telling me something about baking. And she's like, what? What is going on? And so I didn't go like a whole hour doing this reading. I maybe went 4 or 5 minutes. And she's like, interesting. And so I said, you don't have to believe in this work, but I just want you to have an open mind. And so ever since then, She still doesn't believe in it, but she has an open mind. And so I can
open mind, and that's all we ask for.
I can conversate with her about it. And then when it comes to investigations, absolutely have had skeptics there. I just told them to approach it with wanting to learn about history. So I'm like, okay, I know you don't believe in this, but look at this property. It's awesome. Can you not agree that it's awesome? Yes. Okay, cool. We're going to do a walkthrough. I'm just going to ask you some questions if you're open to it. If they're not, you might encounter a skeptic that's like, no, I don't want to even read into energy. I don't want to. It's like, okay, cool. Well, just let me know if you need anything. And I respect them and their boundaries. It's only happened maybe once, and it was fine. They weren't angry. They just were kind of like, this is weird. Okay, I'm ready to go. Whereas a skeptic that was open-minded, I had them try to tap into the energy. Like, which room do you want to go into? That one. Cool, because I agree with you. Okay, cool. So it's just kind of, I want to say it's a little mixture of teaching and then opening their mind and just kind of showing them different aspects. Whereas a lot of the skeptics, the reason why there are skeptics is because there are people that are like, there's demons, there's dark.
Fear, right?
They're messing up the look of psychics or mediums or paranormal investigators. And that is one of the reasons why I do this, is to show them that it's not gimmicky. It's me, as I say, being nosy and having fun and learning the history. It's me staying positive and trying to teach people the positive aspect of it. So overall, that's kind of how I deal with the skeptics.
Perfect. Do you teach paranormal investigating? Do you have a class?
Yeah. So now what happened is after last summer, I was certified as a master teacher under the Lisa Williams School. And so we all kind of have our niche, and my niche tends to be paranormal investigating. And so at the end of last year, I taught an 8-week class with Lisa Williams online. That was amazing. That was awesome. And then I'll be teaching another one. I'm still trying to solidify the date. It'll more than likely be on the weekend. And then I'll be teaching August 20th at Lilydale.
Shut up. Look at it, Tawney. Go.
So, yeah, you go to the Lilydale website. They have their new spring catalog up. And so you'll see me for August 20th. And then that night, those that are registered can actually do a paranormal investigation with me somewhere. We're figuring it out, but somewhere in Lilydale, it's pretty
somewhere.
Yeah, we'll figure out a haunted place and we'll do an investigation. So yeah, August 20th.
So let me expand on Lilydale for those that don't know, because I live 5 minutes from Lilydale. Oh, yay, Megan. So I want to talk about Lilydale. Lilydale is this really cool community in upstate New York that is full of mediums. So there's a fairy garden. There's a stump where mediums go and do messages. In order to own a home there, you have to be a medium, I believe, right? And there's all these old Victorian homes. So it's a really, it like takes you back in time because it's all really old, but it's kind of a cool place. And everybody who lives there is a medium or spiritualist of some sort. So to be able to teach there, I think it's an amazing honor, right? It's an amazing honor and something that all of us try to achieve eventually. Have you done a reading at the stump yet? That's my fear. Haven't done it.
So I was forced to do a reading. It was a requirement for all the master teachers. We had to give 3 messages. And it was so funny because I was like, I can't, I'm so scared. And I was, it was fun. It was great to see people, for me to give them messages where they can validate. It felt really good because I don't tend to do platform as often. And to do it, it was like, it just kind of came naturally, and it was a great experience. And so
was it?
Yes, it was beautiful. That's
why you all should force yourself to step out of your comfort zone. Because one time I was in Lilydale, I did not do it. I chickened out, and I wish to God I wouldn't have done that. Right? I wish I would have just did it and proved to myself that you can do it. So, shame on me. That just means I have to go back and try it one more time.
Oh, you're definitely going back. You're an amazing platform medium, Tracey. One of the best.
Well, thank you. But
great. You're going.
I'm going. My nerves just get the best of me. It's crazy. But good things coming. Hi, Jeffrey, John. It's so fun to see you all on the screen together. Hi. Hey. And then I think
I love Jeffrey.
I love Jeffrey too. Jeffrey's one of our favorite. He's one of our other colleagues that we've trained with together. And I think Belinda had a question on spirit. Is it tied to a spirit or ghost? Let's take ghost, because I think there's a difference. Tied to a person or a house or both? I think we kind of touched on that earlier, but maybe we can just elaborate for people. What is a ghost tied to?
the reason I pause is because I feel like you can use both words for either or. So sometimes people are like, my house is haunted by spirits, my house is haunted by ghosts, or whatever.
That's exchangeable.
Yeah, ghosts can be tied to actually anything. There's haunted dolls. Yes, haunted dolls. I can't with that.
I can't either. Annabelle, that's all I see.
Yeah, they be tied to clothing, to furniture, to a person, anything. Yeah, it's just I can just sit here and go off. They can be tied to anything. The majority of cases that I've experienced, they're tied to the property. So even if you demolished the property from the 1900s and you built a brand new house, they could still be on the property. Like, okay, what did you do to my house? Like, what is going? But they're still there. I've encountered that a lot too. So yeah, it could be a few things, Belinda.
Hey, so I forgot to tell you also, Tawney lives in Hollywood, California. Any famous people in a haunted place? Have you got to do a haunted home with famous people like Marilyn Monroe? Any fun stuff like that?
I'm thinking I want to. The closest I've come to is there's a house in Beverly Hills, and I did TikTok. I stalked the house, and it's I used to belong to Lana Turner. It belonged to Lana Turner from the actress in the 1950s, and the TikTok basically highlights that she. Long story short, she was dating an abusive man, and one day he was abusing her, I think in the kitchen, and her daughter, who was 14 at the time, came and stabbed him. I know it's gory. Yeah, I know it's gory, but he did die in the house. And so I couldn't go in the house, but I went like outside being creepy and just kind of like
with my notepad.
Feeling the energy, like what's going on. So that one is, I would say that's the closest, but I'm glad you asked because that is something I want to do. Like I love Hollywood. There's so many houses in Beverly Hills that used to belong to celebrities, and I'm like, oh my God, like I want to go in this house and see like kind of what's going on. The Comedy Store here on Sunset is very popular, but it's known to be very, very haunted. And I walked by and I was like, ooh, I don't know why, but I'm getting mafia activity. I don't know what is going on. And my friend did some research, and yes, there was some mafia activity years ago there. So I want to, but yeah, if you remember to go on my TikTok, it's one of the first ones I made. There is a video about the Lana Turner house.
Okay, we're all gonna go look. We're gonna go check out Tawney's TikTok so we can see all her stuff because I think that's just so fascinating. I have so many thoughts and questions that I'm trying to write them as you're talking so I can remember because the thoughts are just coming like crazy. Is there any specific place you are just dying to do? Is that on your list? You don't have a bucket list?
Okay, I do. There's a few. The number one is a castle. I don't care where it is, but I want to do a castle. That's where I'm like, Ireland or Scotland or wherever. I don't care. The second place is, you guys are going to all Google this. It's called the Valeska Axe Murder House. It is in, I always get it mixed up, Iowa or Idaho? Iowa? Yeah, Valeska, Iowa. I could be wrong though, so Google that. And it was, I want to say it was from the 1900s. There was a family of like 7, mostly children, like 5 children and 6 children, and some creepo from the street came in and murdered all of them. And it's gory. That's what we deal with as a paranormal investigator. We have to hear the gory part, but the house is very, very active, and it's mainly the children in the house. They do allow sleepovers there. I don't know if I would sleep over in the house because it's very active. However, the investigators that have gone, they said that the energy is not necessarily dark. It's just because there's a lot of kids there, and they just want to play. And so you looking at that personality aspect. They're like, oh, their names are online, but you can ask the EVP, which kid is this? You hear them respond. They push little toy balls around. They're very playful. And so that one is one that I've always wanted to go to. I just have to decide if when I finally do, am I going to spend the night there? Probably not.
Do you have to like ask permission to be able to get in? Are they pretty open to people doing that kind of stuff?
Yeah, they're used to it. When you Google it, I think it even has a sign in front of the house. It's like Valeska Axe Murder House, famous house, something like that. I'm like, okay, so everyone in the area knows about it. I do believe they did it on Ghost Adventures. I can't remember, but that's one that I've always really, really wanted to go to. And I'd say the third is the Shanley Hotel. Don't get it confused. There's a Stanley Hotel in Colorado. Then there's the Shanley Hotel in New York, the New York one. I think I'm going in this summer with my friend Leanne, who's a paranormal investigator. She's awesome. If she's here, hi Leanne. She lives in New
She
York.
is on here. Yep.
She's in New York, and we're like, we're going. But
We're going.
the Shanley is very, very haunted. They just said it's just full of activity, and it's a hotel. But people are actually, for some reason, they want to like stay there. I don't know why, but that one is one where I've heard that it sounds like it's a mixture of positive energy, but then there's a lot of dark, which I'm kind of curious as to how I, as an investigator, will kind of go into that, where it's like, how am I going to balance it, or what's going to happen? So
exactly, yeah. So Kisa, Lilydale girls trip, absolutely, Kisa, we're going. It's crazy. San Antonio has a lot of activity in Texas just because the Alamo, a lot of history. Yeah, and there's I forgot, Belinda, you're on here, maybe you'll remember, but there's a place where you can go in San Antonio and you drive your car and people line up to put their cars, and it looks like it's going uphill, but you can put your car in neutral and you can put like baby powder on the back of your car in the back.
I've heard of that.
And it's said that a bus full of kids died there, and it's uphill, but your car in neutral will go up. And it says that you'll see little fingerprints, the tracks next to like.
I've heard of that.
Have you heard of it?
Years
I've done it.
Freaky. Wow, that's in San Antonio. Wow.
Yeah, because your car will move up, even if it's in neutral, it will move. So it's really interesting. Yeah. So Belinda said, yeah, it's called the railroad tracks.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's funny. And there's an Emily Morgan hotel in San Antonio that's supposedly pretty haunted. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff here in Texas. We're going to get you to come, and I'm going to go with you.
Oh yeah. Oh, you're
Let's do it. And then speaking of Kisa, hi Kisa. Kisa had sent me a question earlier, and I think you might have touched on it, but I just want to go one more time. What's been your most interesting investigation so far?
Just a second. I'm just scanning all the ones I've been to. I'm gonna go to probably the Lake Arrowhead one. That was about 2 years ago. And I mentioned it. Yeah, there's a place called Brackenfern Manor, and it's super cool. It's the history. A lot of celebrities used to go up to Lake Arrowhead to get away from Hollywood. And so this was in the 1920s, 1930s, and they would actually be able to see the police coming up the mountain because there was gambling, there was prostitution, there was a lot of stuff that should not have been happening at that Brackenfern Manor. And so
illegal activity.
Yeah, so that one was really interesting because I had to stay there with a team in the Manor. Yeah, stay there overnight. I was like, great, this is great. However, I did the thing I mentioned earlier where I knew that there was a madam there, and I was like, do not come in the room peaceful. And she didn't, it was cool. So I was okay. But anyway, that one I'd say was very interesting because they have a place across the street called a Tudor House. And in the basement, there's a whole bunch of smashed bottles from the 1930s that are still there. They used to toss them down the chute whenever they saw the police coming up the mountain, and they're still there in a pile. However, because of the gambling, because of the prostitution, apparently there were also murders in that basement. And so a lot of people don't like to do investigations down there because the negative energy, that is actually where that man got pushed in that area. And so we went down there, separate group, and we felt negative. And I said, listen, we are not here to harm you. We are going to be down here for 10 minutes. And I just want you to prove you're here. We have these tools. I kept saying, we'll get out of here, because you can feel like, get out. And he gave us evidence because he wanted us to get out.
He wants you to get out.
And I said,
we will go.
And I was like, thank you. And the girls that were with me were like, oh my God, because they weren't like, it was almost like a tour. I had people, and they were like, oh my God, something. I said, yeah, because we respecting his space. He doesn't want us down here. Let's get out. I was like, cool, thank you, sir. Stay here.
We're out.
And we left. So that one is pretty cool because there's two different properties across the street from one another with a lot of Hollywood
activity.
And a lot of activity. So if you Google Brackenfern Manor and the Tudor House, they did do that on Ghost Adventures. That was a place where a lot of investigators like to check that out.
Yeah. There's a place here in Denton called Goatman's Bridge that was on Ghost Adventures too. So you should Google it. It's very interesting. I had my own experiences there. Yeah, it's really super interesting. It's a whole bridge. Yeah, you'll have to just Google it. But anybody on listening, Google Goatman's Bridge. It's really interesting. One more question from the audience that I got earlier, and this is something we might have to tap into intuitively because it'll be an intuitive question about a haunting, maybe. My friend Kathy messaged me and said, was the hotel fire at the DeSoto Hotel in El Paso caused by entities or energy that resides there? So just tapping in, there was a huge fire in this hotel, and they're thinking, like, was it started? So do we think that an entity, energy, are capable of doing these kinds of things?
So I was trying to tap into the energy. I do think they're capable. I don't see it a lot, but I will say with this place, it feels like the energy is really thick. So there's a lot there, and I'm actually seeing a lot of black, like dark colors. So it's probably a place that I would avoid, where it's like dark. I'm like, I'm good. So yeah, I would say there's a high chance of the energy or entity did start that fire. And I normally probably wouldn't say that. I wanted to be like, no.
But you pause, and I pause too, because normally I would be no too, just because it's super rare. We don't want to think that they could do things like that, right? But there are some instances where it may be kind of possible, right?
Yeah, I was like, ooh, and and it could be what you not expect, where maybe someone was smoking and they left their butt out, but then they can kind of keep it going, and or knock it over, things like that. They could call that.
Yeah. Well, great. We got to everybody's question. I think everyone's talking about Goatman's Bridge. They know it. Yeah. Very creepy. Yeah. So here's the part we can pull cards. We did a really good job. We interviewed for almost 50 minutes because I knew this topic would love people. People love this stuff. And there's always a secret interest, although we're secretly scared. But there's a secret interest, right? We all want to be on that team. But the minute something happens, I'm running. I'm running. I like dead people better. All right, so we're going to pull cards for people. So if you want to do a card reading, I'm going to use my deck this time, Cassie. My messages from above deck. Tawny's going to tap in psychically. But Cassie, scroll up. We had a question from Anna from the very beginning. Yeah, she's just been so patient. And while she's looking at, have you ever crossed a spirit over only to have them return again? Is another question.
So far with me doing paranormal, no, that has not happened.
Me neither.
Thank God.
Once they go, they go. Because it's beautiful over there and they don't want to come back here. Right? It's beautiful.
So Anna has a question about
Bob.
Okay.
Bob. Anna, do you see that things will work out with Bob, or are we not meant to be together? Thank you. I'm going to use my pendulum.
Yeah, it's like, Tracey, go for it.
All right, so I get that things are going to work out, but not for the long run. I think. Is that what you're thinking?
Sorry, I did not mean to cut you off.
That's okay, because we're in the same vibration. No, I just feel like, are things going to work out? Yes, because you want them to, right? Because you're in it and you're vested. I'm not sure he's 100% as vested as you. And so in the long run, is this a 25-year commitment? I don't think so. I think it's going to run its course eventually. But for right now, he's definitely a lesson for you. And so learn while you have him there. What did you get, Tawney?
The same thing. I felt like you guys will be back and forth. I kept saying back and forth. So, because I do feel like both of you guys have really good energy. Sometimes I'll be like, run, don't be with this person, but I don't feel that way with him. So I do feel like you will reconnect, but I don't feel like it's going to be like the forever. But so to answer your question, will things work out? I actually think it will, but will it work out as in like, will you be for years to come? I don't feel that.
And the card I pulled on that, just to help support my feelings, is control. The only actions you can control are your own. So you can't control them. You can't control how they act or react. All you can do is control you. And that should be where your focus is, just to keep growing as yourself. And eventually they either vibrate up or they vibrate out. That's it. Easy. Who's next? Cassie, go.
I was just going to say, I got the 5 of Wands. So that pretty much just goes right into what everybody else is saying. It's going to be a rocky road. It's a little bit of a rocky road.
It's going to be rocky, but yeah.
So
all right, Megan. Secretly, what did Megan say? Secretly interested, but secretly scared. Oh, and the paranormal stuff, Megan. Yeah, me too. I'm secretly interested, but secretly scared. I'm a chicken. Because I'm there's nothing negative. That's the stance, because that's what I was taught. That's what I believe. So don't prove me wrong. At least don't prove it to myself. All right, pick somebody, Cassie. I'll let you pick.
All right. Let's see.
Ooh, look at that Shelly one from YouTube.
Have you ever crossed a spirit over only to have them return again?
No, there was another one. Go down further.
Oh, okay.
Was there a person calling my name? You see it?
Oh.
There. That's kind of interesting.
Oh.
Ooh.
I'm going to let Tawney go first on this one.
Yeah.
Was there a person calling my name when I was 4 years old attached to my dollhouse?
Oh.
What's your name?
Yeah. I feel well, she can answer. I feel like it was female. Was it a female? But yeah. Yeah. And yeah, I was gonna say I feel like, because I apologize, I paused because I keep being flashback to when that kind of happened to me. So I'm like, yes. So it's like, yes. Very interesting. Shelly, can you get a chance to respond if it was a female voice?
Was it a female voice?
Shelly?
Shelly and I got elevate, raise your level of thinking to be above this world and not of this world. And that just tells you that there are things not of this world that we are dealing with. Mm-hmm. So I think that's my validation that, yeah, I think it was something attached to your house. I'm not sure it's negative.
No, it didn't feel negative. It just felt like
negative, but it does feel like maybe there was history. So it doesn't feel maybe the dollhouse wasn't new, it was passed down. So that can happen as well. Energy can be passed on with things, right? And she says, yes, it was female.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's kind of what it feels like to me, that it kind of came with it. So nothing to scare you. So don't let it scare you, right? Don't let it shut yourself down to even believing in any of this stuff. All right. All right. Who's next?
I'm going to go with Tina Godden.
Hi, Tina.
What month will I be moving? Ooh. Who I got? Oh, this is interesting. We're all going to get different answers. I got September. I'm just shouting it out. Who's next? And then you tell us who's right.
I'm curious. I'm going to ask Tina how this works out, because I actually feel like you're going to be like wanting and then preparing, and then it's going to end up going into 2023. That's what you're trying to do. And you're like, okay, cool. Like, it's happening. Wait. Like something like stops you a little bit. But so I'm like trying to think. I kept saying 2023. That's what I said.
Okay. So I'm in September. She's into 2023. What you got?
So I am actually going to agree with Tawney, because the card that I pulled is the moon card. And that is actually card like 18 in the deck. So if you go, I would say within the next 18 months, but that is going to take you into 2023.
So I'm the only wrong one here. So Tina, you've got to tell us when you find out.
All right. March too. Sorry, I saw the month March. Just want to throw that out.
So March 2023. Okay. And I'm still a 9. I'm still in the September timeframe. All right. You got to let us know, Miss Tina. All right. Who's next?
Let's see. Belinda de Hoyos.
Oh, look at her answer. Tina. Yes. September, we start construction in 2023. Sounds right. We're all right. Yes. Oh, we do know what we're doing. Whew. Sometimes I stress out over that. All right. Who got Belinda? Do you see my career advancing anymore? And so I did pull a card for you, Belinda, and I do see growth. I do, but I do see that I feel like as much as you want to grow, there's something stopping it, right? So I don't know if you're maxed out where you're at, if you've got to go somewhere else, or we're waiting for someone to retire, but it feels like a roadblock. But it feels like that next level is yours. We just need to have some things move out of the way to make that happen. But I do get the growth card. So manifest, speak it into existence, and see what happens. Who's next? Tawney, what you get?
Exactly the same. Belinda was feeling that whatever you do, you're like really good at it. Like I was like, oh, she's like solid at it. She's really good, really solid, professional, focused. But then I felt like I couldn't move. And so I was like, okay, what, you know, so it's like, will you grow yourself? Yes, you're one of the best actually at whatever you do, but I didn't feel you moving anywhere yet. So like, just like what Tracey said, I don't know if there's someone in your way or we need to get you to another position. But to answer your question, I feel like as of right now, meaning for, let's see, it's, oh my God, May. I don't feel a lot of movement right now. And it doesn't feel like it's bad because again, you're really good at what you're doing, but maybe 2023 feels a little looser for me, where I do feel like you might start to look for other things.
Perfect. Yay. Good luck with that, Miss Belinda. Huh. Yeah. All right. We got room for a couple more. I have someone on TikTok, Winnie the Boo. How can I get a reading? And it's a female, Winnie. So let's tap into Winnie the Boo. I love that name, don't you?
No, I like
TikTok's hard because it's all fake names, but yeah, I'll pull a card for her. So Winnie, I got the Strength card, and it's a reminder that you are stronger than you think and more powerful than you believe. So everything that you're kind of going with right now, I know you feel like the cards are stacked against you sometimes, but you need to stand in your own power. Maybe there's a lesson in everything that's happening to remind you that you're this powerful being. There's a lot surrounding the lion and the cat. So go Google that spirit energy and see if that resonates with you. Who's next?
Tawney, did you have anything to add to that?
To be honest, when I give the readings, I usually like see their picture and I'm like, but that's okay.
I know.
For Winnie, I just feel like super,
really beautiful woman. You can't see the little dot, but she's right there.
It's okay. Well, I actually felt like Winnie is super fun, like super, super fun. Like I was like, ooh, I want to go party with Winnie. Like, but really fun. But also sometimes you could be a little serious. I feel like I have to bring that up to you because I don't know if you're unaware that sometimes you might hurt people's feelings. You don't realize you are. So just be aware of that because you feel like you're really, really fun. And I don't want you to wonder like, why is so-and-so upset with me? Or why are they not talking to me? It might be how you're saying or your communication sometimes, but it's a very small like FYI warning. But again, I think you're super fun. So
yay. What you got, Cass?
Well, it was interesting because as you were actually saying the lion energy or the cat energy, I pulled the wheel card, and right at the very top is a lion.
That's a lion. Yay. So lion.
Yeah. So with this card, it's, and it is all about the wheel card can be that the wheels are always turning. So it could be in your favor or it could, but it did appear in an upright position. So I do feel like this is a positive.
It's a positive thing in your favor. Yay. Good job. And then Belinda, I totally agree with you. That has been my obstacle my entire career. I have been at my peak for a really long time. Good job, ladies. Good job. I'm going to get Whitney in. Whitney, new person in my life. He has the same birthday as me. Super crazy, but I just wonder if it's real. It seems perfect. I don't know. I'm going to pull a card for that one. If anybody got anything, go.
He is just like her.
It
feels like right now, like it's like I'm seeing the symbol for like it's working. It's you guys are very similar. He seems super cool. You guys have a lot of the same interests. I feel like you guys might even have the same little temper. I don't even know what sign you are, but no, it does feel good. If it's real, yes. I feel like both of you are gonna. I don't think it's gonna go that fast. I think you're gonna take it fairly slow. Like you guys get along as well as friends, which is awesome. But you can take it slow, and I would say take it slow. But it is real, and
Scorpios.
It
does. Scorpios.
It does feel good.
Yeah. So I get the same thing. I think it's good to take it slow because you guys are so similar. There could be a lot of twin flame kind of energy, which means you guys are going to kind of bring some stuff out in each other, but it's only to help you guys grow. So as long as you guys are both working on your own stuff and you're not bringing the baggage in, I think it would be good. But you each have to do your own work. So I got the ego card, and the ego is all about turning in, reflecting in, self-gain, self-worth, self-love. You've got to continue to work on you and don't depend on someone to fill the void and the need of and to make you feel loved. I don't know how else to say that. but you know what I'm talking about, Miss Whitney. All right, what you got, Cass?
I just got more of the same. It's the card that I pulled is the 7 of Coins, and that's just more of the it's actually being kind of in a content place right now. Like it's a good place to be in.
Yeah.
So just be.
Just be. And let the universe take its toll and do what it's supposed to do. And oh my God, we're a minute over. Tawney, thank you so much for being on. It was so much fun. Will you come back again and do it again?
It was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for all the questions and joining.
Yeah. And where can people find you, Tawney?
Yeah, you guys
can book a reading, whatever.
Yeah, intuitivetawny.com. I'm big on TikTok. I love TikTok. So follow me on Intuitive Tawney, and also Instagram, same, Intuitive Tawney. Follow. I do a lot of paranormal, a lot of historical videos on TikTok. So yeah.
Yay. Yeah. Everybody go follow her on TikTok. And then for me, you can find me. I am the Red Couch Medium on all social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok as well. And if you want to book a reading, I also have a website, theredcouchmedium.com. And then Cassie, where can people find you?
They can find me at Stargazers Unite, creating brands, logos, and websites for that radiate your soul to the world. So Stargazers Unite pretty much everywhere. So
yeah. So, thanks for an awesome show. Thanks for our awesome listeners and our go-to people who are on almost every time. We love you. We thank you very much. And with that, you all have a good night, and we'll see you next time. All right. Bye, everybody.